Hello ladies and gentlemen, and this is Warhammer 40k Freeblade. Chris actually did the review for this one, not me, but I've been playing quite a fair bit of it, as you can tell by the level 12-ness. As you can tell by all of the things on the right side of the screen, it's a free game. I'm playing it on Facebook Game Room, same as Chris, but on a substantially better PC. But you can also play it on Android and iOS, through the Android and iOS versions, as with most Facebook games, really. I think most Facebook games come out on all of the mobile platforms, plus Facebook. It's the whole in-app microtransaction thing is built for social media and built for mobile stuff. So, a quick rundown of the plot is you are this big man on the right, the big knight thing with big blades and stabbings and things. It's basically you are big shooty man with big shooty guns. And this is the campaign. It's usual thing. It's a campaign. There's quite a few levels to it. I haven't been doing the patrols, so I'm basically having to do the patrols. The patrols are special missions, but you can only do a set amount until you get a particular rank or complete particular chapters. And so, yeah, because I haven't been doing them, I'm kind of locked out of the campaign until I do the one that's free still there and another one in 2 hours. There's a lot of waiting. That's basically the main thing with this game. There's a lot of waiting involved, because not just is there waiting for new patrols or anything like that, there's also the waiting for salvage, which is just free. Well, you can have one free thing every 12 hours, or you can pay gold or money, coins. It's the usual pricing for things. We have $2.99 for 250, which gets you generally not that much, not really that much at all the way up to 80 whole of your British pounds, 80 whole pound, which is kind of normal and kind of standard for app things, which is kind of ludicrous because that's twice the value of a normal actual game, and people were paying £80 for a premium currency that may not even get them the whole. It's weird, but yeah, you can get a lot of stuff. A lot of the game is based on essentially loot crates. A lot of it is loot crates because you have these war gear crates. Obviously the colours represent the power, and you have the grey, which is just common, which is usually just resource, the green, which is uncommon, and some rare chests. There's blue as well, which is the rare ones, and then you have the super rare, which is the purple, and then the mythics, which is the orange. Yeah, it's the usual sort of stuff. You can paint your gear as well, this is probably the closest actual Warhammer thing where you can do all the specialist paint jobs and do all the paints. And you can do the entire night. Yes, I know, do the entire thing. I'm not changing anything. You can change the entire night in one go, or you can paint each individual bit. I basically went for... Yes, I know. I basically just went for the red and the blue and the silver, because you're supposed to be teaming up with the Blood Ravens, which kind of dates it, because the Blood Ravens are supposed to be dead or destroyed. Yeah, the latest game I reviewed was the latest Warhammer game I reviewed was the Space Hulk, which is you going through Space Hulk of the remnants of the Blood Angels. So, because you're teaming up with the Blood Angels, or at least I think it's the Blood Angels, I don't know. The plot is tangential at best. As for missions, the actual missions. No, go back. As for the actual missions, I'm going to go for the first mission. Go for the very first one. Yep. Let's go for the very first one to show you how a game is played. This is how you do the loadout. You have shields, which are a contextual thing. That's your primary. I'm going for a stabber just because I just got that one. I might go for the other one because it's quicker fire. Actually, no, I might stick with that one because that's quicker fire. Basically, your primary, your heavy, your ultra, your armors, all the way through there. That's your armors. That's your special shield for a contextual thing, and your big fuck off sword. The sword shape doesn't change. And as you can tell by the little numbers, there is a ranking system to it, and the colours mean the rarity, and it has all these different effects, all sorts of things. Some of them are for basically everything, but you have things like the purple one, and then there's the yellow one, and things like that, which are for multiplayer, which I'll show you that in a minute. But first of all, I'll go into the actual mission and show you the mission. This is the blessings. This is just boosts, and the only way you can get boosts is by getting them in chests, which you can get them in the as salvage for the free stuff, or in multiplayer. You get a lot of chances to get them in multiplayer. Generally, they do very little. It's XP or better loot or more ore or more shooty guns. It's yeah, it's generally kind of pointless. It's not really a deal breaker. At the moment, I've gone through this whole thing not paying a single penny, and that's at least one thing. The only sort of Facebook games I would want to promote would be games where you can play without paying, really, 'cause it's free. But this is the style of game you have. It's an on-rail shooter. In the quite interesting sense of it's a third-person on-rail shooter, which is always kind of interesting. I quite like the fact that it has this, where it's actually a third-person on-rail shooter. It's interesting in that regard. Yeah, I'm very overpowered for this one. I'm stacked up with some ultra-powerful stuff. And this should be the last one, yeah. Oh, look, it's heavies. Oh, too bad I don't have a cannon that can just destroy a car in one hit. And that's basically the primary style of the whole thing. Is it's the third-person on-rail shooter. That's part of the reason why it's quite good. It's fine playing it on... There's not much difference playing it on PC through the Facebook Game Room or playing it through Android and iOS, where you can also get it as well. There isn't really that much of a difference between them, which is quite good. And quests. Yeah, you get quests, you get game progress quests, which just do this thing, or do daily quests and things. It's just normal quests. And then here's the thing, which I think I'm slightly better at this than Chris is, which is the multiplayer. Yeah, well, the current multiplayer season just finished. I got a fair amount of score. I don't know, I think I was in the top 25, top 10%. These percent, not actual people. As you can tell, I was like 2000th. So I think I was in the top 20% or something. Which is kind of astounding, because if you look at the levels of the people around me. 32, 16, 39, 12, 31, 55, 53, 54, 55. It's... The disparity between some levels is... Well... It's... The ability to win things in multiplayer is a much more designed around luck and kind of skill. It's, well, when I say kind of skill, it's the key, because Chris, from reading his review, Chris had trouble with the multiplayer, and I can kind of understand his confusion, because basically the only thing you're told when you go into it is basically, shoot everything. That's basically it. And so it's, generally, it literally is just, shoot everything. Every person, everything. I can tell Chris really tried to get through it, but it's to a point where I'm substantially better than he is. And I am several levels lower and a mech of half the power. And so... yeah, it's... Yeah, you have these mechs of different powers. You can certainly tell which ones were had the preset names, because you have things like Blade Runner. Vortigern is another one that comes up. That has to be a Half-Life reference, because there's the Vortigerns from Half-Life. That has to be a reference to that or something. There's Blade Runner and all sort of things, and and all of that. Actually, the way things are, I'll actually go for you, Elipanis. You're quite substantially higher power than me, higher rank than me, but I outdo you in generation, because I have the 5, because that's the 5 extra multiplayer things you can get, which is boosted power, which is just strength, resistance, which is just defense, generation, which means your fury goes up higher. Fury is basically... the use of fury is actually going to be... Well, probably the best way to explain it is to actually show it. Let's go into a match. It's against an AI, and Fury is basically, it's up here at the top thing, where Fury is like artificial generation of skill or whatever, or something along those lines. And critical! Yeah, it's basically person with higher fury charges first. And so... the higher person with the highest fury manages to shoot first. Which is... And you're dead. Oh, no, you're not dead. And so, it's basically decided on who gets to swing first. Oh, just a quick hiss. It's... Yeah, so, that's basically it. It's... Oh, I'm into the top 60% in one match. Must be a lot of carryover or something, I don't know. Yeah, it's... I have won the vast majority of matches in multiplayer. I think I managed to get to... Where is it? I managed to get to Ace for about one match, and then I lost like 2 matches in a row and went back down to Master. So I think I've got to Master, which is alright. Which is the explanation to why I have so many Valor medals. Because the Valor medals are used to get Valor chests. You can get with cash stuff, or you can get 1 for 60, or do what I do and get the 5 for 5 plus 1, so 6 for 300. So you get 1 bonus, and you get various things really. And this could be a good way to show the main crux of the game, because the game is basically on loot crates. And you get loot stuff for... Wow, I got lucky. I got really fucking lucky. Holy shit. Oh, bloody hell. I got really fucking lucky. And the last bonus special one is... I don't know. What the fuck does that do? Night resistance, fury generation... Oh shit, I got 2 of the same thing. Motherfucker. 2 of the same thing. Fury generation, and... Night resistance. Oh, okay. I'm still fucking lucky I managed to get Chaos Relics. Fucking Jesus. Cool. Yeah, it's basically loot crates. It's a game where your generation of stuff is based entirely on loot crates, which is a tad bullshit. It's a tad bollocks. Which I'm not necessarily surprised because of the microtransactions, but it's one of those things which is a tad balls. But a way you can get... you can boost your stuff is through the Forge, where you can just forge new things, better things. This shows the various types of things you can get. These are all types of primaries you can get. There's all the types of other guns you can, the sort of secondaries you can get, your defense and your sword and your armors and things. That's all the types of things you can get. And basically what you do is you go into the fort. Well, you have to choose what you're going to do first. Shield. I need to get a new shield anyway. I need to boost it. Which is basically just... It's basically you scrap 2 things, and then the level and the power of those 2 things are combined together to create a new thing. So, Let's go for... Get rid of that. And... Something else. I should have another shield somewhere. 28. Will that boost it much? 32. You spend the primary currency or begin forging. There we do. And I have to wait 10 minutes, or I can hurry up with cash. I'll ignore that. I think my thoughts on it largely fall in line with the same as Chris, which is, the criticisms I have for it is basically the third person on-rail shooter aspect for it is a good, to use a phrase, it's a good gimmick, it's a good pull, because you're not stuck or anything. It's very free moving or things like that. The camera at times can be a bit stupid and then swing around dramatically, as you may have saw in the multiplayer, where it goes, oh look, the enemy's over there, and around the corner. The loot crate thing about it is a pain. You can get around it, but like most things, it is mostly built around waiting. That is basically the core part of this game, and I think that's the reason why I don't mind this game as a free game so much, where it's the kind of game where you could pay up to 80 whole pounds. It's ludicrous anyone would spend about that amount of money on a bloody free game, Jesus. To speed things up, essentially. Or you can just wait. And that's the kind of free game that I kind of like, is where it's solved just by waiting or being patient and things like that. So I like this game as a free game, and it's very good. It's very nice. There's a lot of the Warhammer 40 games out there, so you're not going to be that stuck for choice if you don't want to play a Facebooky, appy game of Warhammer. There are lots of other Warhammer games out there as well. So I like it.